Sunday dinners at my parents' house weren't optional. They were tradition, gospel. The kind of ritual that got marked in permanent marker on every calendar, every phone, every spare scrap of paper Mom could find. 6 p.m. sharp. Every Sunday. For the last 12 years. My son Ethan was 12 now. He'd been coming to these dinners since he was a baby, sitting in a high chair and throwing mashed potatoes at my sister's judgy face. We'd never missed one. Not for illness, not for work, not even when I had the flu so bad I could barely stand. Because missing Sunday dinner wasn't just rude. It was a betrayal, a statement, a crack in the family foundation that Mom would spend the next 6 months trying to repair with guilt trips and passive-aggressive text messages. So when I pulled into the driveway that afternoon, Ethan in the passenger seat, a store-bought pie on his lap because I'd forgotten to bake, I expected the usual. Dad at the grill. Mom fussing over napkins. My sister complaining about her job while her husband nodded along like a hostage reading a script. What I didn't expect was my father standing at the front door. Arms crossed. Face like stone. Blocking the entrance. I got out of the car slowly. Ethan followed, clutching the pie like a shield. "Hey, Dad," I said, walking up the path. "Sorry we're a little late. Traffic was... We need to talk." Not, "Hello." Not, "Come in." Not even a nod. Just, "We need to talk." I stopped. Ethan stopped beside me. "Okay," I said carefully. "About what?" My sister appeared behind him. Rachel, arms crossed too. Face hard. No smile. No greeting. A united front. Something cold settled in my stomach. "What's going on?" I asked. Dad's voice was flat. Cold. The tone he used when he fired employees back when he still ran his business. "Return the $40,000 your son took from this house. Or stay out. You're not welcome here until that money is back." The world tilted. I stared at him. At my father. The man who taught me to ride a bike. Who walked me down the aisle at my wedding. Who cried when Ethan was born. "What?" I said. "What are you talking about?" Rachel stepped forward. Her face was tight. Angry. Righteous. "Don't play dumb, Daniel. My daughter saw him, your son, near the safe in Dad's office last month. She told me right away, but we gave you the benefit of the doubt. Then we checked. The money's gone. All of it." I felt like I'd been punched. "My son is 12 years old," I said slowly, voice shaking. "You think he broke into a safe and stole $40,000? "The safe wasn't locked that day," Dad said. "I just opened it to grab something. Your son was in my office alone for 10 minutes. My granddaughter saw him standing right next to it." "So you're accusing my child of being a thief based on a 9-year-old's word?" "We all agreed," Rachel said, crossing her arms tighter. "Mom, Dad, me, my husband. The money disappeared right after your visit. Your son was the only one who had access." Mom appeared behind them. Small. Quiet. She wouldn't look at me. Just stood there, hands folded, eyes on the ground. But she nodded. She nodded. My mother, who used to braid Ethan's hair when he was little and let it grow long because he liked it. Who brought him books and taught him to bake cookies. Who called him her little gentleman. She nodded. I looked at Ethan. He was staring at the ground, shoulders hunched, holding that stupid pie like it might save him. He looked so small. My entire family, standing there, united, against my son, against a 12-year-old kid who still slept with a nightlight and cried during sad movies. I felt something crack inside me. Not sadness, not shock, rage, cold, quiet, controlled rage. But I didn't yell, didn't argue, didn't beg. I just smiled. "Interesting," I said calmly. Rachel frowned. "What's interesting?" I reached into my bag, the leather messenger bag I'd been carrying, the one I always brought to Sunday dinners because I worked Saturdays and never bothered taking it out of the car. I pulled out a folder, thick, heavy, stuffed with papers. "I actually brought some documents today," I said, voice even. "Was going to discuss them over dinner, but I think now is better." Dad's frown deepened. "What are you—" I pushed past him, walked straight into the house, into the dining room, dropped the folder on the table. It landed with a heavy thud. What is this? Dad demanded, following me. Rachel right behind him. Open it, I said. Dad hesitated, then reached for the folder. Flipped it open. Inside, bank records, statements, transaction histories, all printed, all highlighted, all organized with tabs and sticky notes like a legal brief. Rachel's face went pale. Just for a second. Then she recovered. What am I looking at? Dad asked, confused. Those are transfers, I said calmly. From your account to Rachel's. Look at the dates. Dad's eyes scanned the pages. His face changed. Slowly. Like watching ice melt. These go back 2 years? Yep, I said. Small amounts at first, 500 here, 1,000 there, then bigger. 5,000, 8,000, and look at the date on that last one. Dad's finger stopped on a line. His hand started shaking. Transfer. $40,000. Date. 3 weeks ago. To Rachel M. Peterson. The room went silent. You could hear the clock ticking in the hallway, the hum of the refrigerator, the sound of my own heartbeat in my ears. That's... Dad looked up at Rachel. Slowly. Like he was seeing her for the first time. That's the money from the safe. Rachel's face had gone completely white. That's not... It's not what? I asked, voice still calm. Controlled. Not real? Because your name is right there. Your account number. Your bank. Your signature on the transfer authorizations. I pulled out another document. Slid it across the table like a blackjack dealer. And this? This is the lease for your new car. The one you bought last month. The $60,000 BMW you claimed your bonus at work paid for. Mom picked it up with trembling hands. Read it. Her face crumpled. This says... She looked at Rachel, eyes filling with tears. This says you financed the entire thing. $60,000. Where did you get the down payment? I tapped the bank statement. Right there. $15,000. Transferred from Dad's account 2 days before the car purchase. Matches perfectly. Dad sat down. Heavily. Like his legs had given out. He stared at the papers, then at Rachel, then back at the papers. You've been stealing from me, he said quietly. For 2 years. I was going to pay it back, Rachel stammered. Her voice cracked. You accused my son, I said. My voice wasn't calm anymore. It was hard, sharp. Cold as the look Dad had given me at the door. You looked me in the eye, I continued, and accused a 12-year-old boy of stealing. You made up a story about your daughter seeing him. You turned this entire family against us, all to cover up what you've been doing. Rachel opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again like a fish drowning in air. Your son was in the office. So was your daughter, I said. So were you. So was everyone. But you picked my son because he's an easy target. A kid who can't defend himself. A kid who wouldn't even know how to access a bank account, let alone steal $40,000. Mom was crying now. Full, shaking sobs. Dad just sat there, staring at the documents like they were written in a language he didn't understand. How did you get these? Rachel said, voice rising. You went through Dad's accounts? That's illegal? Dad gave me access years ago, I said calmly. When he had the surgery. He added me as a secondary on all his accounts in case something happened. Remember? You were on vacation in Aruba at the time. Couldn't be bothered to come home. That shut her up. I've been monitoring the accounts, I continued. Just checking in every few months to make sure everything was okay. Because Dad's getting older. Because scammers target seniors. Because that's what family does. I let that word hang in the air. Family. I noticed the transfers about 6 months ago, I said. Small at first, then they got bigger. I thought maybe Dad was helping you out, that it was legit. So I didn't say anything. But then the $40,000 disappeared. And suddenly you had a brand new car and designer bags. And you were posting photos from restaurants I know you can't afford on your salary. Rachel's face was bright red now, angry, Cornered. So I did some digging, I said. Called the bank, requested transaction histories, all legal, all above board, because I'm listed on the accounts. I pulled out one more document. This one was different, typed, official looking. And this, I said, sliding it to Dad, is a summary from a financial advisor, showing exactly how much Rachel has taken, with dates, with amounts, with interest calculated. Dad picked it up, read it. His hands shook harder. $78,000, he whispered. You've taken $78,000 from me. Rachel's legs gave out. She grabbed the table for support. I was going to pay it back, she said again, but her voice was hollow. Empty? She knew it was over. When? I asked. When were you going to pay it back? After you bought the second BMW? After you remodeled your kitchen? After you went on another vacation you posted all over Instagram? She didn't answer. Just stared at the floor. Mom was still crying. Dad still hadn't moved. And Ethan, my son, my 12-year-old baby who'd just been accused of being a thief, stood in the doorway holding that damn pie, watching his family fall apart. I walked over to him, took the pie, set it on the counter. Come on, buddy, I said quietly. We're leaving. He nodded. Didn't say a word. Just turned and walked toward the door. I followed him. But I stopped at the threshold. Turned back. You owe him an apology, I said. A real one. Not some half-baked, I'm sorry you felt that way, nonsense. A real apology. For accusing him? For not believing in him? For choosing to blame a child instead of asking questions? I looked at each of them. Dad, Mom, Rachel. When you're ready to give it, and only when you're ready, you know where to find us. And then I left. The door closed behind us with a soft click. Not a slam, not a bang. Just a quiet, final click. Ethan and I walked to the car in silence. He climbed in, buckled his seatbelt, stared straight ahead. I started the engine, pulled out of the driveway. Didn't look back. We were halfway home when Ethan finally spoke. Dad? Yeah, buddy. Did I really get accused of stealing? My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Yeah, I said quietly. You did. But I didn't. I wasn't even in Grandpa's office. I was in the backyard the whole time, playing with Aunt Rachel's dog. I know. Then why did they say I did it? I took a breath. How do you explain to a 12-year-old that sometimes family, the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, will throw you under the bus to save themselves? Because sometimes people make mistakes, I said. Really big, really hurtful mistakes. And instead of owning up to them, they blame someone else. That's messed up. Yeah, it is. He was quiet for a moment. Then, are we ever going back? I thought about it. Really thought about it. About 12 years of Sunday dinners, of my mom's pot roast, of my dad's terrible jokes, of sitting around that table and pretending we were a normal, functional family. About my sister standing at that door, arms crossed, accusing my son. About my parents nodding along. I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe, but not until they apologize. A real apology. To you. Ethan nodded. Okay. He turned to look out the window, watching the houses blur past. Dad? Yeah? Thanks for believing me. My throat closed up. I had to blink hard to see the road. Always, buddy, I said. Always. We drove home in silence, and when we got there, I ordered pizza. We ate it on the couch, watching a movie Ethan had seen 100 times. It was the best Sunday dinner we'd had in years. My phone started buzzing before we even finished the pizza. Mom, Dad, Rachel, Mom again. Unknown number that was probably Rachel calling from someone else's phone. I silenced it, put it face down on the coffee table, focused on the movie. Ethan noticed. Are they calling? Yeah. Are you going to answer? Nope. He nodded. Took another bite of pizza. His shoulders relaxed a little. By the time the movie ended, I had 17 missed calls and 12 voicemails. I didn't listen to them. Not that night. I tucked Ethan into bed, told him everything was going to be okay, and went to my own room. Then I sat on the edge of my bed and stared at my phone. Part of me wanted to listen, to hear what they had to say, to know if there was any remorse, any real understanding of what they'd done. But another part of me, the part that had watched my son's face crumple when he realized his own family had accused him, that part didn't want to hear excuses. I opened my messages instead. Mom, 7:43 p.m. Daniel, please call me. We need to talk about this. Mom, 7:51 p.m. Your father is very upset. Mom, 8:02 p.m. This is tearing the family apart. Dad, 8:15 p.m. Call me. Rachel, 8:23 p.m. You had no right to go through those accounts. Rachel, 8:31 p.m. You ambushed me in front of everyone. Rachel, 8:44 p.m. I'm going to talk to a lawyer about this. I almost laughed at that last one. Talk to a lawyer about what? About me catching her stealing? I set the phone down, went to brush my teeth. When I came back, there were 4 more messages. Unknown number. 9:02 p.m. Daniel, it's Kevin, Rachel's husband. Can we talk? That one stopped me. Kevin, my brother-in-law. Decent guy. Worked in IT, quiet. The kind of person who laughed at jokes 3 seconds after everyone else because he was still processing them. I'd always liked Kevin. He didn't deserve this mess. I called him back. He picked up on the first ring. Daniel. His voice was rough, like he'd been crying or yelling or both. Hey, Kevin. Silence. Then, is it true? All of it? Yeah, it's true. $78,000? $78,000 that I could document. Could be more. I only have access to Dad's main accounts. He exhaled, long and shaky. She told me the car was paid for. She told me her grandmother left her money. Her grandmother died 8 years ago, left her $2,000 in a china set. I know, I was at the funeral. His voice cracked. I'm such an idiot. You're not an idiot. She lied. She's good at it. Another long silence. Did you know? He asked. Before today? I suspected, for a few months. But I didn't have proof until about 2 weeks ago. That's when I got the full transaction history from the bank. Why didn't you say something sooner? Because I wanted to be sure. And because I hesitated. Because I was hoping I was wrong. Kevin laughed, bitter, hollow. Yeah, me too. I heard something in the background. A door slamming. Rachel's voice muffled but angry. I have to go, Kevin said. But Daniel? Yeah? Thanks for showing me. I know that wasn't easy. I'm sorry it had to be like this. Yeah, me too. He hung up. I sat there in the dark, phone in my hand, feeling the weight of what I'd just done. I'd blown up my family, destroyed my sister's marriage, shattered whatever trust my parents had left. And I didn't regret it. Not for a second. The next morning, I woke up to 43 text messages and 6 more voicemails. I made coffee, made Ethan breakfast, drove him to school. Are you okay? He asked as he got out of the car. Yeah, buddy, I'm okay. Are you sure? You look tired. I smiled. I'm sure. Have a good day at school. He hesitated, then leaned back in and hugged me. Quick. Tight. Love you, Dad. Love you too. I watched him walk into the building, waited until he disappeared through the doors. Then I pulled out my phone and started reading the messages. Most of them were from Mom. Variations on the same theme. Call me. We need to talk. This is getting out of hand. One from Dad. Rachel is moving back home. She and Kevin are separating. That one hit different. I knew it was coming. Had known from the moment I handed Kevin those bank statements. But seeing it written out, official and final, made it real. My sister's marriage was over. Because of what I'd done. Because of what she'd done, I corrected myself. I didn't steal the money. I didn't lie. I didn't accuse a child. I just told the truth. But telling the truth had consequences. And now I had to live with them. I was about to put the phone away when it rang. Aunt Linda, my mom's sister. The family gossip who somehow knew everything before it happened. I almost didn't answer. But Aunt Linda had always been kind to Ethan, had always treated him like he mattered. I picked up. Daniel, honey, what on earth is going on? Hi, Aunt Linda. Your mother called me at 6 this morning. 6. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. Something about money and Rachel and you bringing papers to dinner? I sighed. Did she tell you what happened? The whole story? She said there was a misunderstanding about some money. Rachel made a mistake. That you embarrassed her in front of the whole family. A mistake. That's what they were calling it. Aunt Linda. Rachel stole $78,000 from Dad over 2 years. Then she accused Ethan, my 12-year-old son, of stealing $40,000 of it to cover her own tracks. Silence. She what? She accused Ethan, told everyone he'd been in Dad's office near the safe, got her daughter to back up the story. They confronted me at the door yesterday and told me we weren't welcome until I returned the money Ethan supposedly took. Oh my God. I brought bank records, proved Rachel had been transferring money to herself, proved she used it to buy a car, pay for trips, all of it. She's been lying to everyone, including Kevin. Aunt Linda didn't say anything for a long moment. Then, is that why Kevin moved out? He moved out? Last night, your mother told me. He packed a bag and left. Rachel's staying with your parents now. So it was real. Not just separating. He was gone. Yeah, I said quietly. That's why. Daniel, why didn't Rachel just ask for help? If she needed money? I don't know. Pride? Shame? Maybe she didn't think she could pay it back. Maybe she didn't want to. And your parents believed her? About Ethan? Everyone did. Mom, Dad, Rachel. They were united. Wouldn't even let us in the door until I returned the money. Aunt Linda made a noise that sounded like a growl. That child wouldn't hurt a fly. He's the sweetest boy. How could they think? Because it was easier than believing Rachel could do something like this. That's not an excuse. I know, she sighed. What are you going to do? Nothing. I'm not going back. Not until they apologize to Ethan. A real apology. Good. You shouldn't. They were wrong. Completely, utterly wrong. You're the first person in the family to say that. Then the rest of them are idiots. I'll call your mother. Set her straight. You don't have to. Yes, I do. That boy deserves better. You both do. We talked for a few more minutes. She told me she'd be calling Ethan later to check on him. That if we needed anything at all, to let her know. When we hung up, I felt a little lighter. At least one person in this family still had sense. By lunchtime, the story had spread. I got texts from cousins I hadn't talked to in years, from family friends, from people I didn't even know had my number. Some were supportive, some were less so. Cousin Mike. Dude, that's harsh. Rachel made a mistake, but airing it out like that? Uncle Tom. Family issues should stay private. You shouldn't have done that in front of everyone. Cousin Sarah. I'm so sorry this happened. Is Ethan okay? Aunt Carol. Your mother is devastated. I hope you're happy. That last one made me laugh. Actually, laugh out loud. I wasn't happy. I was tired, angry, sad. But I wasn't sorry. Around 2, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Local area code. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Daniel? It was Rachel. What do you want? I need to talk to you. We don't have anything to talk about. Please, just give me 5 minutes. I should have hung up, should have blocked the number and moved on, but I didn't. Fine, 5 minutes. She took a shaky breath. I'm sorry. For what I said about Ethan. I shouldn't have. Stop. She stopped. You don't get to apologize to me, I said. You accused my son, a child, your nephew. You owe him the apology, not me. I know, I panicked, okay? I didn't know what else to do. You could have told the truth. You could have admitted what you did. Instead, you tried to destroy a kid's reputation to save your own skin. I wasn't thinking. No, you were thinking. You were thinking about yourself, like you always do. Silence. Why'd you do it, Rachel? The stealing. The lying. All of it. She didn't answer right away. When she did, her voice was small, broken. I was trying to keep up. With everyone else. With the other moms at Sophie's school. With the neighbors. With you. With me? You have your life together, Daniel. Good job. Nice house. Ethan's in private school. Everyone always talks about how well you're doing. How responsible you are. I wanted that too. So you stole from your own father? I was going to pay it back. When? After you bled him dry? After you'd taken everything? I don't know, her voice cracked. I don't know, okay? It just kept getting worse. I'd take a little, then a little more, and then I couldn't stop. And when Dad realized the 40,000 was missing, I panicked. I thought if I could just blame someone else, buy myself time. You thought you could blame a child. I'm sorry. Tell Ethan that. I can't face him. Not after. Then you're not actually sorry. You're just sorry you got caught. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I sat down, stared at the wall. She was my sister. My blood. And I didn't recognize her anymore. That evening, Dad called. I let it go to voicemail. Then listened. His voice was tired. Old. Defeated. Daniel, it's Dad. I need to talk to you. About what happened. About Ethan. I was wrong. We were all wrong. And I'm sorry. I should have asked questions. Should have listened. Should have believed in my grandson. Please call me back. We need to make this right. I saved the voicemail. Didn't delete it. But I didn't call back either. Not yet. Because sorry wasn't enough. Not when they'd looked my son in the eye and called him a thief. Not when they'd chosen to believe the easy lie instead of asking hard questions. I needed time, space, distance. And so did Ethan. When I picked him up from school that day, he was quiet. We drove home in silence. He did his homework, we had dinner, watched TV, normal, routine, safe. At bedtime, he looked up at me from his pillow. Dad? Yeah? Are we still a family? With Grandma and Grandpa and everyone? I sat on the edge of his bed, brushed the hair off his forehead. I don't know, buddy. I think we're going to be a different kind of family for a while. Just you and me, and the people who really matter, like Aunt Linda. He nodded. That's okay. I like it being just us. Yeah? Yeah. I kissed his forehead, turned off the light, closed the door, and stood in the hallway trying not to cry. Because my son, my kind, sweet, innocent son, had just been told by his entire family that he was a thief. And he was handling it better than I was. 2 weeks passed. Ethan went back to his routine. School, homework, video games with his friends online. He didn't ask about Sunday dinners anymore. Didn't mention his grandparents or his aunt. He seemed lighter, like a weight had been lifted. I, on the other hand, felt like I was carrying it all. The calls didn't stop. They slowed down, but they didn't stop. Mom texted every few days. Short messages. Thinking of you. Hope you're well. Miss you both. Never an apology. Never an acknowledgement of what they'd done. Just longing. Like we were the ones who'd done something wrong by leaving. Dad called once more, left another voicemail. Daniel, your mother and I would like to meet with you, and Ethan, to talk. Really talk. Please consider it. I saved that one too. But I didn't respond. Kevin texted me on a Thursday afternoon. Divorce papers filed. Thought you should know. I stared at the message for a long time, then typed back, I'm sorry. Don't be. You did me a favor. I just wish I'd known sooner. How's Sophie? Sophie was their daughter. The 9-year-old who'd supposedly seen Ethan near the safe. Confused, upset. Rachel told her we're separating because of you. My blood ran cold. What? Yeah. Told Sophie that Uncle Daniel ruined everything by telling lies about Mommy. Jesus. I set her straight, told her the truth. Age-appropriate version, but the truth. She's staying with me most of the time now. Rachel gets weekends. How'd Sophie take it? She cried, asked if Mommy was a bad person. I told her Mommy made bad choices, that people can do bad things without being bad people. That's very mature of you. Yeah, well, I'm in therapy now. Turns out I need it. We texted back and forth a bit more. He told me he was looking for a new place, that he'd moved in with his brother temporarily, that he was doing okay, all things considered. Before we ended the conversation, he sent one more message. Sophie wants to apologize to Ethan for lying. Can we set something up? I thought about it. Talked to Ethan that night. Sophie wants to say she's sorry, I told him, for saying you were in Grandpa's office when you weren't. Ethan looked up from his homework. Did Aunt Rachel tell her to lie? I think so, but Sophie feels bad about it now. He considered this. Okay, she can apologize. You don't have to forgive her. You don't have to be friends again. You can just listen and that's it. I know. We set it up for Saturday. Neutral ground. A park halfway between our houses. Kevin brought Sophie. She looked small. Nervous. Her hair was in 2 braids and she clutched a piece of paper in her hand. Ethan and I waited by the picnic tables. He was quiet. Calm. Sophie walked up slowly. Kevin stayed back, giving her space. Hi, Ethan, she said quietly. Hi. I wanted to say I'm sorry for lying about seeing you in Grandpa's office. You weren't there. I know you weren't there. Mommy told me to say it and I did and I'm really sorry. She held out the paper. It was a drawing. Crayon. 2 stick figures holding hands. Ethan and Sophie, written underneath. I made this. For you. If you want it. Ethan took it. Looked at it. Then at Sophie. Thank you, he said. I forgive you. Sophie's eyes filled with tears. Really? Yeah. You're just a kid. You were doing what your mom said. I get it. She hugged him, quick and tight. Then ran back to her dad. Kevin mouthed, "Thank you," to me. I nodded. As they walked away, Ethan looked down at the drawing. That was nice of her, he said. Yeah, it was. Do you think Aunt Rachel will ever apologize like that? I watched Kevin and Sophie disappear around the corner. I don't know, buddy. I hope so. But I didn't believe it. 3 weeks after the Sunday dinner incident, Mom called again. This time, I answered. Daniel. Hi, Mom. Thank you for picking up. Her voice was shaky, emotional. I wasn't sure you would. What do you need? I need to see you, and Ethan, please. Your father and I, we want to apologize, properly. Mom, please, let us do this. We were wrong, completely wrong, and we need to tell Ethan that, face to face. I closed my eyes, took a breath. When? Whenever you're ready. Tomorrow? Next week? Whenever you'll have us. I need to talk to Ethan first. Of course. Yes. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. That night, I sat down with Ethan. Grandma and Grandpa want to apologize to you, in person. How do you feel about that? He shrugged. I guess that's okay. You don't have to say yes. You don't owe them anything. I know, but they're still my grandparents, right? Yeah, they are. Then okay, I'll listen. We met at a coffee shop, public, safe, easy to leave if things went bad. Mom and Dad arrived 10 minutes early. They looked older, tired. Dad's hair seemed grayer than I remembered. Mom's eyes were red-rimmed. They sat across from us. Ethan between me and the window. An escape route. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Dad cleared his throat. Ethan, I owe you an apology, a real one. Not an excuse. Not a justification, just, I'm sorry. Ethan didn't say anything. Just looked at him. Dad continued. I accused you of something you didn't do. I didn't ask questions. I didn't listen. I believed a lie because it was easier than facing the truth. And that was wrong. You're my grandson. I should have trusted you. I should have protected you. And I didn't. I'm so sorry. Mom reached across the table, stopped herself before touching Ethan's hand. I'm sorry too, sweetheart. We all failed you. We let fear and confusion cloud our judgment. You didn't deserve that. You've never given us a reason to doubt you. And we should have remembered that. Ethan looked down at his hot chocolate, stirred it with the wooden stick. Why didn't you just ask me? He said quietly. About the safe, about the money. Why didn't you ask if I did it? Dad's face crumpled. Because I was scared and angry, and I thought I already knew the answer. But you didn't. No, I didn't. You hurt my feelings, Ethan said. You made me feel like you didn't love me anymore. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Oh, baby. No. We love you so much. We never stopped. Not for a second. Then why did you believe I would steal from you? Neither of them had an answer for that. Because the truth was uncomfortable, painful. They'd chosen the easy narrative over the hard questions. And now they had to live with it. I don't know if I can forgive you yet, Ethan said. Maybe later, but not now. That's fair, Dad said. His voice broke. That's more than fair. We sat there for a while longer. Awkward. Heavy. Mom asked about school. Ethan gave one-word answers. Dad tried to make a joke. Nobody laughed. When we left, Mom hugged Ethan. He let her. But he didn't hug back. In the car, he was quiet. You okay? I asked. Yeah, I don't feel better yet. That's okay. You don't have to feel better right away. Do you think they really meant it? The apology? Yeah, I think they did. Do you forgive them? I thought about that. Really thought about it. I'm working on it, I said. But it's going to take time. He nodded. Yeah, me too. Rachel never apologized. Not to Ethan, not to me, not even to Dad for stealing his money. According to Mom, she was working through some things and not in a place to have difficult conversations. Translation: she was still playing the victim. Dad made her sign a payment plan. Every month, a portion of her paycheck went directly to him. It would take her 7 years to pay back what she'd stolen. 7 years. Kevin got primary custody of Sophie. Rachel got every other weekend and Wednesday dinners. She moved into a small apartment, sold the BMW, got a second job, and according to Aunt Linda, who kept me updated on all the family drama, Rachel told everyone who'd listen that I'd destroyed her life, that I'd humiliated her, ruined her marriage, turned her daughter against her. Never mind that she'd done all of that herself. I blocked her number, blocked her on social media, made it clear to Mom and Dad that if they wanted a relationship with me and Ethan, Rachel's name didn't come up. They agreed. Slowly, very slowly, we started rebuilding. Sunday dinners didn't come back, but we did lunch sometimes, at restaurants, neutral territory. Mom and Dad were careful now, gentle, like they were walking on eggshells around us. It wasn't the same. It would never be the same. But it was something. And for now, that was enough. A year later, Ethan turned 13. I asked him what he wanted for his birthday. Expected the usual. Video games, new sneakers, maybe concert tickets. Instead, he said, "Can we have a party? Just us and the people who matter?" So we did. Small gathering in our backyard. Aunt Linda came, Kevin and Sophie, a few of Ethan's friends from school, my best friend from college who'd always treated Ethan like his own nephew. No Mom, no Dad, no Rachel. Not because I banned them, because Ethan didn't invite them. Is that okay? He'd asked when we made the guest list. It's your birthday, buddy. You decide who gets to celebrate with you. I'm not ready yet, he said quietly. Maybe next year, but not this year. Then that's your answer. The party was perfect. Small, genuine, full of people who actually cared. Aunt Linda brought a homemade cake, 3 layers, chocolate, with terrible frosting spelling that made everyone laugh. Kevin gave Ethan a gift card and a genuine hug. Sophie gave him a new drawing, this one of the two of them as superheroes. We played games, told stories, watched Ethan blow out his candles surrounded by people who loved him without conditions. That night, After everyone left and the backyard was cleaned up, Ethan and I sat on the porch. "Good birthday?" I asked. "Best one ever," he said. Then, after a pause, "Dad? Yeah? Do you think Aunt Rachel will ever actually apologize? Like, for real?" I'd thought about that question a lot over the past year. Honestly, I don't know. Some people can't admit when they're wrong. It's too painful, too scary. So they just keep pretending they didn't do anything. That's sad. Yeah, it is. Do you miss her? The way she used to be? I looked out at the darkening sky. Sometimes. But the person I miss probably wasn't real. Or maybe she was once and she changed. Either way, the Rachel I knew wouldn't have done what she did. Ethan nodded. Processing. Always processing. I don't miss Sunday dinners, he said. No? No, I like this better. Our way, with people who don't make me feel bad. I put my arm around him, pulled him close. Me too, buddy, me too. 2 months after Ethan's birthday, I got a letter in the mail. Handwritten. Rachel's handwriting. I almost threw it away, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. "Daniel, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I know I don't deserve your time or your attention, but I needed to write this. Not for you. For me. I'm in therapy now. Real therapy. 3 times a week. Working through a lot of things I should have dealt with years ago. My therapist says I need to take accountability. So here it is. I stole from Dad. I lied to everyone. I accused Ethan of something he didn't do because I was scared and selfish and desperate. I destroyed my marriage. I damaged my relationship with my daughter. I hurt you and Ethan in ways I can't take back. I'm not writing this to ask for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm writing this because you deserve to hear me say it. I was wrong. Completely, utterly, inexcusably wrong. I don't expect you to respond. I don't expect anything. I just needed you to know that I finally understand what I did. And I'm sorry. Rachel." I read it 3 times. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't enough to fix what she'd broken, but it was something. I folded the letter, put it in a drawer, didn't respond. Maybe one day I would. Maybe I wouldn't. But for now, I let it sit. That weekend, Mom called. "Did Rachel reach out to you?" she asked. "She sent a letter." "Did you read it?" "Yeah." And? And nothing. It doesn't change what happened. Mom was quiet for a moment. "She's trying, Daniel. She really is." "Good, she should be. But that doesn't mean I have to let her back into our lives." "I know, I miss having all my kids together. I miss my family being whole." "Mom, our family isn't whole. It hasn't been for a long time. Maybe it never was. Maybe we were just pretending." "That's not fair." "Isn't it? You accused my son of being a thief. You stood at that door and told me we weren't welcome. You chose Rachel's lie over Ethan's innocence. That's not what whole families do." She started crying. I heard it in her breathing. "I know," she whispered. "I know. And I'll regret that for the rest of my life. Then live with it. Like I have to. Like Ethan has to." I hung up. It felt harsh, cold. But it was honest. And I was done pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. 6 months after that conversation, Dad called. "I need to tell you something," he said. "What?" "I changed my will, split everything equally between you and Rachel, but I added a clause. Rachel's portion goes into a trust. She gets monthly payments, but she can't access the lump sum. Ever." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I don't want you to be surprised when I'm gone, and because I want you to know, I trust you. I should have trusted you from the beginning. I should have trusted Ethan. I failed you both. And I'm sorry." His voice cracked. This man who never cried, never showed weakness. "I forgive you," I said quietly. "You do?" "Yeah, it's been long enough. And you've actually tried to make it right. That matters." He exhaled. Relief, gratitude. "Thank you, son. That means more than you know." "But Dad?" Yeah? Ethan gets to decide when he forgives you. Not me, not mom. Him, on his timeline. Understood? Understood. That night, I told Ethan about the call. Grandpa forgave himself, Ethan said. Not a question, a statement. Sort of. He wanted me to forgive him. I did. Do I have to? No. Not until you're ready. If you're ever ready. Ethan thought about it. I might be, someday, but not today. That's okay. And Aunt Rachel? What about her? Will you ever forgive her? I considered that. Really considered it. I don't know. Maybe. But it won't be the same. She'll never be the sister I thought she was. And she'll never be the aunt you deserved. That's sad. Yeah, it is. He leaned against me. We sat in comfortable silence. Dad? Yeah? Thanks for believing me when nobody else did. My throat tightened. Always, buddy. Always. 2 years after that Sunday dinner, Ethan and I created our own tradition. Every Sunday we did something together, just the two of us. Sometimes we cooked a big meal. Sometimes we went hiking. Sometimes we just watched movies and ate takeout. No pressure, no expectations, no walking on eggshells, just us. Mom and Dad joined us occasionally. Once a month, maybe, at restaurants, on neutral ground. It wasn't Sunday dinners, but it was something. Rachel never came, never asked to. According to Aunt Linda, she'd finished paying Dad back, got promoted at work, started dating someone new. Sophie spent more time with Kevin. Came to a few of our Sunday hangouts. She and Ethan weren't as close as they used to be, but they were friendly. That was enough. One Sunday, 2 years after everything fell apart, Ethan and I were making pancakes. He looked up from the griddle. You know what's weird? What? I'm happier now than I was before, when we did the big family dinners and pretended everything was perfect. I flipped a pancake, smiled. Yeah, me too. Is that bad? That we're happier without them? No. It means we're honest now. We're not pretending. We're building something real. He nodded. I like real better. Me too, buddy. Me too. We finished making breakfast, ate together at the kitchen table, made plans for next Sunday. And I realized something. Family isn't just blood. It's not traditions or obligations or guilt. It's the people who show up, who believe in you, who fights for you. It's the people who choose you every single day. And Ethan and I, we chose each other. That was more than enough.